Have any of you guys ever wanted a chinchilla? Maybe a sugar glider? What about a Grand Cayman blue iguana? Now, there are only 50 of these left in the world as of 2005. But when they were taken into captivity, there was a group of 30 of them that were. They were bred and then repopulated, and now there's over 500 left. They were as close to being extinct as you can get before being declared extinct. And now there's a good population of them on the Grand Cayman Islands. Now, I'm going to argue for why taking animals extinct or going extinct animals out of their natural habitat and putting them in captivity to help raise and repopulate their populations and save them from going extinct. Now, there are places like PETA and all those crazy extremist organizations that want to keep non-native species out of the United States. Now, that is kind of a good point. Like, if, for say, a non-native species such as a Burmese python or an alligator got loose in the wrong place, it could do a lot of damage. But they just recently proved themselves completely wrong by putting about a test group of about 20 Burmese pythons and iguanas from up through the Everglades to northern Virginia during the winter, fall, and spring to see if they could survive the winter, which they assumed they would, which is the entire basis of their bill and case for what they're trying to pass in the legislature. So, what essentially happened is every one of the test subjects froze to death, proving that most invasive species that can do harm cannot survive the winters or survive in the regions that they are released in. So if you were to release a Burmese python or an alligator in Texas during the winter, it would be dead by nightfall. It's pretty much proven. You can ask any herpet anywhere around Austin or Texas and they'll tell you that. Now, species such as the white rhino or black rhino, which are poached in Africa, or duck frogs, some forms of duck frogs are going extinct because of being captured in captivity. These species are one of the few that are being brought into captivity and are successfully being bred, and then eventually they're going to be released so that a larger population can be sustained in the wild. And PETA, of course, is wanting to stop all of the imports, which would essentially deny us from saving a number of these species, which is going against their mission, I believe, which is the treatment for ethical rights of animals, which is kind of saving animals' lives if you think about it. Also, in the United States alone, there are 74 endangered species of birds and fish. There was over 100 endangered species of insects and over 50 endangered species of reptiles. And I mean, if you think of that, like, we could be saving them, but in the world alone, there's thousands and thousands of these endangered and critically endangered and functionally extinct species that we could be saving. Now, organizations like SeaWorld or zoos or the National Zoo Organization, all those places take most of their funding, but they split some of it off for research and capturing of rare specimens to help do this repopulation. And PETA would prevent the import of that. And also, another thing that's on this bill is the prevention of not just things going to zoos or pets like big snakes or whatever, but any non-native species. So does anyone here own a goldfish, or maybe a tetra, or a betta fish? What about a gerbil or a hamster? You wouldn't be allowed to keep those. Those are all non-native species. Anything short of a simple guppy, essentially, or a bass or whatever, I mean, anything you can't find in your backyard or in a state over from you is essentially what you can have or can't have. So it's really just a ridiculous statement of nonsense. I mean, why would they do something like that to prevent saving the lives of the animals they so love? So I'm going to ask you guys to support your local zoos and aquariums that you've been, and just, I mean, don't support PETA. PETA's crazy. Shoal Creek won't accept them. They have their own standards. So, yeah, don't support PETA.